So here's the situation. ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini all sit at roughly the same price point, about $20 per month. On paper, that makes them look identical. But once you actually start using them, you realize pretty quickly that what you get for that $20 can be very different depending on which one you choose. One of them can generate images, create videos, browse the web, and even interact with your computer. Another can process massive amounts of text, like an entire book, and give you a clean, accurate summary. And the third is deeply integrated into tools you already use, like email, documents, and spreadsheets. So in this video, I'm going to break all three down for you. What each one does best, where they fall short, who they're ideal for, and ultimately help you decide where your $20 a month is best spent. Let's get into it. As of early 2026, all three models are more advanced than ever. ChatGPT is running on the GPT-5 series, Claude is on version 4.6, and Gemini is part of the 3.1 family. In terms of raw intelligence, the gap between them has narrowed significantly. They're closer than ever. So the real differences now aren't about which one is smarter. It's about features, ecosystem, and how well each one handles specific types of work. One important thing to understand before we go deeper, all three platforms now offer different modes. There's a faster, everyday model for simple tasks, and a more powerful thinking or pro model for deeper reasoning. Claude has Sonnet and Opus. Gemini has Flash, Pro, and Deep Think. ChatGPT has instant and advanced reasoning modes. The key thing is, those more powerful models use up your limits faster, so you want to use them strategically, only when the task actually demands it. Now let's talk about what each AI really excels at. Starting with ChatGPT. This is the most well-known, and for good reason. It's basically the Swiss Army knife of AI tools. It does the widest range of things in one place. You can generate images, create videos, talk to it using voice, browse the web, analyze files, write code, and even build custom tools on top of it. The feature set is huge. With the latest updates, its coding abilities have improved a lot. It also introduced computer use capabilities, meaning it can interact with your screen and perform tasks for you. And its coding agent can work on real projects, not just small snippets. If you want one tool that can handle almost anything, this is it. But there's a trade-off. Because it tries to do so much, the writing can sometimes feel a bit generic unless you guide it carefully. It's extremely capable, but not always the most refined out of the box. Now let's talk about Claude. Claude takes a very different approach. Instead of trying to do everything, it focuses on doing a few things exceptionally well. First, writing. Claude is incredibly good at following detailed instructions. If you tell it to write in a specific tone, structure, or style, it just gets it. It doesn't overcomplicate things or add unnecessary formatting. It feels more natural, like you're working with someone who actually understands nuance. Second, coding. Claude's coding capabilities are highly respected, especially among developers. It can work across large code bases and handle complex logic with a high level of detail. They've also introduced tools that let it manage files and automate workflows, which makes it useful even if you're not a programmer. And then there's the context window. Claude can handle massive amounts of text in a single conversation, up to around 1 million tokens. That means you can drop in huge documents, entire books, or large code bases and still get meaningful, accurate responses. That's a huge advantage for research, analysis, and long-form work. Where Claude falls behind is in features. It doesn't generate images or videos, and it doesn't have the same kind of voice interaction or tool ecosystem. It's more focused. You use Claude for depth and quality, not for variety. Now Gemini. Gemini's biggest strength is its integration with Google's ecosystem. If you use Gmail, Docs, Sheets, or Drive regularly, this is where it really shines. It's built directly into those tools. It can read your emails, help you write documents, create formulas in spreadsheets, and summarize files, all without leaving the apps you already use. That level of integration is something The others simply don't match. The second major strength is its research capability. Gemini can take a question, break it down into a plan, search across a large number of sources, and come back with a detailed, structured report, often with references included. It can even combine that with your own files and emails to give more personalized results. For students, analysts, and anyone doing research-heavy work, this is incredibly useful. Gemini also supports image and video generation, and its free tier is quite generous compared to the others. The downside is that outside of the Google ecosystem, it doesn't feel as strong. As a standalone chatbot, it's solid. But its real power comes from being embedded in Google's tools. Now let's talk about pricing. All three offer free versions, and all three have paid plans around $20 per month. On the surface, they look identical, but the real difference is in how far that $20 takes you, how much you can actually do before hitting limits. ChatGPT gives you access to a wide range of features with fairly flexible usage. You can do a lot of different things within that subscription. Claude, on the other hand, tends to produce longer, more detailed responses. That means it uses more of your allowance per query, but you often need fewer follow-ups to get what you want. Gemini bundles its AI features with additional value, like cloud storage and deep integration with productivity tools. If you're already paying for those services, the AI becomes an added bonus. So, which one should you choose? If you're a student or just getting started, Gemini's free tier is a great place to begin. It offers strong capabilities without needing to pay up front, and its research tools are especially helpful. If your focus is writing or content creation, Claude is worth trying. It's excellent at tone, structure, and producing usable content with minimal back and forth. If you're a developer, Claude is often the top choice for complex work, while ChatGPT is great for faster, more lightweight tasks. Many developers actually use both depending on the situation. If you're heavily invested in Google's ecosystem, Gemini is the obvious pick. The convenience of having AI built directly into your daily tools is hard to beat. And if you want one tool that does a bit of everything, images, voice, coding, browsing, ChatGPT is the safest all-around option. But here's the real takeaway. You don't have to choose just one. The free tiers are good enough that you can keep all three available and use each one for what it does best. That's honestly the smartest way to approach it. Even newer platforms are starting to do this automatically, selecting the best AI for each task behind the scenes. And when you think about it, getting access to tools this powerful for around $20 a month is pretty incredible. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.